I find it fascinating. I believe you said you joined in 1967.
Yes.
You must have an incredibly unique perspective on how the industry changed in those years. You came on before containerization, and you were a young guy and in the family of this industry. How, if you could do a 50,000 foot view of how you've seen it change, what is it to you?
I can tell you it changed a lot. I can tell you back in the 60s, the first company that started in containerization was Sealand. Two guys, two truck drivers, Malcolm McLean, Cecil Yeagers, got together and said, you know, we're taking cargo up and down the East Coast. Why don't we get a ship, put the cargo on a ship, and go up and down the East Coast? They weren't even thinking about over Europe, none of that. They wanted to try to catch a trucking company to put it on a ship and bring it up here, put it on a ship and bring it down there. So they went and got an old tanker ship, and they got engineers, and they sponsored the money, and they got people to chip in, and they came up and they built a crane on the ship, and they got a container, and they put the cargo in. And maybe the first ship came up with 50 boxes. Not even 50, 20 boxes. It worked. They came in to the port, the crane on the ship unloaded them, and they loaded them on, and they went down. Well, it caught on. And from there, everywhere you go in the world, you'll see those cranes. They look like monsters. No matter where you go, what port, overseas, Europe, Rotterdam, Amsterdam, anywhere, Spain, those cranes are there. It all started with Sealand. The company before Sealand is called Pan Atlantic, but Sealand bought that, and then they became Sealand. Okay, I show up in 1967. I explained to you before, the maintenance local was down. We built it all up, you heard me. Where the changes started, we always went for a 3-year contract. When my father, when I was a young kid, we went on strike for 25 cents. 25 cents. We went on strike in 1977 for 3 months for 80 cents. Fast forward, back then the companies were lucky they made millions of dollars, to 10 million, 5 million. Today, they make billions and billions of dollars. They make, MSC is the richest shipping company in the world, made 3 times the money than Amazon. A lot of money, right? Billions. Well, one of the companies, and I won't mention his name, he took himself a Christmas bonus, $4 billion. He took it out for him and his family, $4 billion. A French company, I won't mention their name, they gave all their employees 50 months salary as a Christmas gift. Now, look at that money. They have so much money, they don't even know what to do with it. They know they're building up terminals. They want to go automation. They want more money now. Get rid of these men. We don't need them no more. It's a big change going on. I've been fighting automation for years. They destroyed LA. They put a fully automated terminal out there, Maersk Line. 800 longshoremen lost their jobs. If it was up to them, they would like to see everybody lose their jobs. Let me tell you, it's not just in the longshore. They got ships in Europe that they're building. They got one now, runs on a battery, a container ship. No crew. Somebody in an office building runs it. Goes out, goes in. They don't want anybody. They don't want to pay anybody. It's not only this union, it's in every union in every aspect. If they keep putting machinery to take our jobs, who's going to pay the income tax? Machines or not. Who's going to pay for the military, the roads? Everything runs by taxes. Take Easy Pass. The first time they come out with Easy Pass, one lane, and cars were going through and everybody's sitting in their car and go, what's that all about? I'm gonna get one of them. Today, all those union jobs are gone and it's all Easy Pass. People don't realize it. Everybody's got 3 cars, everybody got an Easy Pass on the window. And they go through like it's nothing. And they get billed in the mail. They didn't care about that union worker working in the booth. You go in a store today, it's self-checking. They don't need anybody to check out no more. Someone has to get into Congress and say, whoa, time out. This world is going too fast for us. Machines got to stop. Yes, we're getting smart kids out of MIT and all these places. Yeah, they're all brilliant. But what good is it if you're going to put people out of work? Who's going to support their families? Machines? Machines don't have families. You got to draw the line. These companies that work in the maritime business come from overseas. Not one of them belongs to America. They want to come into America and build fully automated terminals and get rid of American jobs. Good paying jobs that support families with medical, pensions, annuities, and pay taxes. They want to get rid of them. Where's the President of the United States? He's not fighting for us. He told in LA, he told the union, hurry up and get a contract. That's the mentality they have. They don't even know what the hell they're doing today. Well, I know what I'm doing. I'm going to save everybody's job when it comes to the ILA and to all the unions around the world, because we're going to fight with that alliance. I'll shut them down throughout the world to prove that we can beat them. So, yes, your answer is we came a long way. We came along so advanced that technology is mind-boggling. We never had cameras on the piers. They got a camera in every pole. They got cameras they want to put in the trucks to watch the driver driving. What is this, Big Brother? I'm against all that. I'm against that. A man can't even breathe without a camera looking at him. That's not right.
What about, there certainly must be, since 1967, elements of technology that have been good for the industry.
Technology that's been good for the industry. That's a tough one because I got to be careful because I'm against automation. Semi-automation is automation. It's just the back avenue had to come in and give you automation without you knowing it. But certain technology, yes, is good because computers, we get more work done with computers. We have doubled the cargo. We have, if you look now, we have ships that are being built by these companies. Check this out. That hold 22,000 containers. It's a floating city. They had to take the Bayonne Bridge and raise it way up here so the ships could go under it to get in here to unload them. 22,000 containers. It's amazing how we came from the first ship with just a small amount of containers, 25, 50 boxes on them. So look at the future now. Look at the future in money. They went from millions of dollars to billions and billions of dollars. So the world is going by real quick.
Is it safe to say that you're not against technology for efficiencies, but you're person first, people first, like protecting jobs and families while embracing technology to keep the workflow efficient?
Let me explain a little bit about this. The first cranes that went up with diesel engines up there. As time went on, they got rid of diesel. Today, it's electric. The jobs on the waterfront are very dangerous. Just 2 years ago, one of my mechanics fell into the electric and he was fried to death. Wife, 4 kids. Happens all the time on the piers. People getting killed. There was a woman checker. She was checking the boxes when the guy had a high-low with 2 stacks of steel. He should have been riding in reverse. He was looking through the bundles, knocked it down. He didn't even see it. Dragged her under the high-low in front of her son, ripped her apart and killed her. It happens. It happens down here all the time. I had 2 guys killed right in front of me. It happens. We have a group in our local 1804 Dredge called the Lashes. The most dangerous job on the waterfront. When they put the containers on top of the hatch covers, all the way up high, you see them in the container ship, they gotta be all lashed down in case the storm and the seas are real rough. The ship is doing this and this. If they're not lashed down right, those containers are gonna go over into the ocean and sink. Millions of dollars of cargo sunk. So what? My men gotta go out there. It's 0 degrees. There's ice on top of the container. It's freezing with metal bars and hooks, safety lines on them, way up high, and they gotta put them down tight, get up on the box, slide on the ice up on top. Completely dangerous. That's in the north. In the south, it could be 95, 105 degrees. Soaking wet down there. They got a guy that goes around, they call him the water boy, giving water to the men so they don't dehydrate. Or the ones that work in the hull of the ship, they get water. It's different elements. You have us here in the north, Canada. You have from Virginia down, all the way to Houston. Hot. Florida, everything's hot. Different elements. Dangerous job. We've had 17 people killed in the last 3 years. That's 17 people that didn't come home. We just had a kid killed in Houston. Young kid, a big roll of paper, weighed a ton, rolled off on top of him, killed him. That's why I fight. I fight for jurisdiction. I fight for safety. I fight for these to be compensated with good salaries. These companies are making billions of dollars. They should take us along. We brought them to where they are. Now they want to get rid of us? That's not fair. Not fair at all. And this union's been around close to 200 years. So you could see why I'm always fighting.
Why do you think you haven't had to strike since then?
Because you had leaders like me, and the companies got smart and said, we don't want to go through another 3 months strike. Let's negotiate in good faith. Back then, the companies didn't make the money that we make today. So we negotiated in good faith. We went with 6-year contracts. And we got $1 raise, $1.50 raise for 6 years. It was great. It was a lot of money compared to 80 cents for 3 months. But today's world, it's changing into the future. They're not making millions no more. They're making billions. And they're spending it fast as they make it. I want a piece of that for my men, because when they made their most money was during COVID. When my men had to go to work on those piers every single day, when everybody stayed home and went to work. Not my men. They died out there with the virus. We all got sick with the virus. We kept them going. From Canada to Maine to Texas, Great Lakes, Puerto Rico, now the Bahamas, everybody went to work during COVID. Nobody stayed home. Well, I want to be compensated for that. I'm not asking for the world. They know what I want. They know what they want. And if they don't, well, then I have to go into the street and we have to fight for what we rightfully deserve.
Do you think, this is my last question, do you think the threat of the strike is they can understand the significance of that based on the recent things that have happened, like our Key Bridge, we're from Maryland, our Key Bridge collapsing and it just stopping all the ships from being able to deliver?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to tell you something.
Okay.
When that bridge fell, my longshoremen are on this side of the bridge, no work, no salaries. Biden called me up on the phone, President Biden. Harold, I got the money to build a new bridge. I go, oh. What about my longshoremen? They're out of work now. They didn't cause no problem. Well, he goes, I got the money for building a new bridge and getting the bridge that's in the water out of there. I ask you one more time, President, what about the men whose families now have no money coming in? Well, you know, if there was an explosion on a ship, maybe I can get the money. Listen, you're supposed to be a friend of the ILA. You came to me when you wanted the AFL CIO backing. I got it for you. You called me in the kitchen, you thanked me 1,000,000 times. I'm telling you, my members need help. Well, let me see what I can do. In politics, that means you're not getting it, okay? I opened up a fund with management after the first pandemic. Let me see how much money's in that fund. I called them up. They called me back. It's $300 million. Wow, are you kidding me? We put $300 million in there? Yeah. Well, I'd like to take some money out of there and pay for those families in Baltimore. Well, Harold, it's only for pandemic. Well, what about we get your lawyers and my lawyers, and any disaster, nature disaster, whatever, we can draw from it. I have no problem as long as the lawyers work it out. They worked it out one day. It cost me $1.2 million every week to pay for their families. Plus, they were allowed to go to unemployment. And it's over now. They're back working. The ships are going in and out. I never got no help from the government. We did it on our own, management and union. That's what we're supposed to be doing, working together. And I hope we get back into that right realm.
Do you think?
That was in Baltimore.
Right.
What was the question again?
Well, it was just about like, I remember like how significantly it impacted our businesses, like the supply chain, because I
glad you brought
live
that
on
up.
the Chesapeake
Let me
Bay,
explain
and all
something.
the ships were just waiting on the other
Liz,
side.
let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets, from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's gonna happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.